Welcome. You've tuned into Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise and really get you up to speed on something pretty transformative.
Yeah, definitely.
Today, we are plunging right into the world of artificial intelligence, specifically within education apps. What's actually happening here? And, why should you care? Especially if you value getting a solid understanding efficiently.
Good questions.
And hey, if you like these kinds of focused explorations, definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our future dives.
Absolutely. And what we're seeing here, it's more than just a small tweak to these apps.
Right.
It's really a fundamental shift. AI is turning them into these, well, intelligent learning companions.
Intelligent learning companions. I like the sound of that.
The goal is really to make education more effective, much more tailored, and ultimately just more accessible for everyone involved.
Okay. But let's get down to brass tacks. What's the big picture? What's this overarching transformation we're really seeing?
Think of it like this. These education apps are moving beyond just, delivering content.
Right.
They're starting to actively understand and respond to the individual learner. And this push towards personalization, it's having a huge effect.
Huge how?
Well, not just on how students learn, but also on how teachers manage their workload. It's genuinely reshaping the whole e-learning industry landscape.
So definitely not just a passing fad then. It feels like a real turning point.
Exactly.
So let's dig into why. What's really driving this massive growth we're seeing in the AI and education market?
Well, there are several big forces colliding, really. First, there's this huge and growing demand for learning experiences that actually adapt to the individual.
That makes sense. One size fits all rarely works perfectly.
Precisely. People learn differently at different paces. And then second, educators are, frankly, desperate for tools to help reduce the admin burden.
So they can focus more on actual teaching.
Exactly. Free up time for that human connection. Third, there's the global push for wider access to education. AI can help deliver quality learning anywhere.
Okay, those are strong drivers.
Yeah.
And I guess the technology itself is finally sort of catching up to the vision.
Oh, absolutely. The fact that almost everyone has a digital device, a phone, or a tablet, that's the platform.
Right.
But crucially, the advances in AI itself. Things like machine learning, which is basically teaching computers by example,
Yeah.
and natural language processing, NLP, which lets computers understand human language. Those are making these really sophisticated features possible now.
And the market reflects that.
Oh, definitely. The projections are pretty staggering. We're looking at a jump from around, US $3.4 billion in 2023 to potentially US $54.5 billion by 2032.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a compound annual growth rate of nearly 36%. It's huge.
Those numbers really do speak volumes. Okay, so let's get practical. How is AI actually changing the experience inside one of these learning apps? Can you give us some concrete examples?
Well, the core change, the really transformative part, is that personalization. Using machine learning, NLP, data analytics, these apps create truly adaptive learning environments.
Adaptive how? Exactly.
Like constantly analyzing how a student is interacting with the material, figuring out where they might be struggling.
Pinpointing weaknesses?
Yeah, identifying those knowledge gaps, and then, crucially, delivering content specifically designed to bridge those gaps.
Okay, paint a picture for me. Give me a couple of solid examples.
Sure. Think about personalized learning paths. An AI can look at a student's performance and automatically create a unique study plan.
Focused on their weak spots.
Exactly. Or real-time feedback. You take a quiz. You don't wait days for grading. The app gives you instant feedback.
So you can correct mistakes immediately.
Right away. Then there's predictive analytics. The AI can flag students who seem to be falling behind based on their activity, suggesting interventions before they fail.
Proactive help.
Nice. Yeah. And AI can even automate creating stuff like quizzes, summaries, maybe even basic lesson outlines, and adaptive assessments tests that change difficulty based on your answers.
So it gets harder if you're doing well, easier if you're struggling.
Precisely. It's not just about showing different content anymore. AI can analyze how you're solving a problem and offer tailored hints, almost like a personal tutor.
That sounds incredibly focused and efficient. Now, learning isn't just about facts, right? Engagement is key. How's AI making these apps more, engaging and user-friendly?
That's a great point. And this is where you see features like chatbots, voice assistants, virtual tutors becoming, almost standard.
Okay, like customer service bots, but for learning.
Sort of, but smarter. Intelligent chatbots can offer 24/7 support, answer student questions, give guidance, maybe send reminders about assignments.
Useful. And voice assistants.
They allow hands-free access to materials. Imagine studying while you're, I don't know, commuting or doing chores.
Multitasking learners, yeah.
And gamification. Leaderboards, badges, points. It taps into motivation, makes learning feel less like a chore, and actually helps retention.
A bit of fun helps things stick.
Definitely. And for really complex subjects, AI is enabling immersive stuff with VR and AR, virtual and augmented reality.
Getting really hands-on virtually.
Exactly. Plus, NLP improvements mean better multilingual support, making apps accessible globally through real-time translation.
So it feels less like using a tool and more like interacting with a helpful guide.
That's the goal.
Okay, what's under the hood?
Yeah.
What are the key technical bits making all this AI magic happen?
Well, the foundation is really those machine learning models we talked about. They chew through data to find patterns for personalization.
Right, the learning part.
Then there's natural language processing, NLP. That's vital for the chatbots, the voice commands, understanding text.
Makes sense.
All this needs serious processing power and storage, so cloud computing is essential for scalability and access across devices.
Can't run it all on your phone.
Not usually. And of course, data security is absolutely critical. We're talking about sensitive student info here.
Non-negotiable.
Then you have APIs, application programming interfaces. Think of them as digital plugs that let different systems talk to each other. So the app can connect to the school's main learning management system or LMS.
Integration is key.
Totally. And finally, big data analytics helps everyone understand user behavior, see what's working, and continually optimize the experience.
It's quite a complex ecosystem of tech. Now, we've talked a lot about the student side. What about the teachers, the schools? How are they benefiting?
Oh, the benefits for educators and institutions are pretty significant, too. AI can automate a lot of the tedious admin tasks.
Like what?
Things like scheduling, maybe taking attendance logs, even doing initial grading on multiple choice stuff. That frees up educators' time.
Time for more human interaction.
Exactly. More one-on-one support, more tailored teaching. Plus, performance analytics give teachers really detailed reports on student progress.
So they can adjust their teaching based on real data.
Precisely. Identify struggling students or topics the whole class finds difficult. AI can also help optimize resources, figuring out which learning materials are actually effective.
Better use of budgets and time.
Right. And we're even seeing AI-driven professional development modules for teachers themselves. And importantly, AI tools like text-to-speech help create more inclusive environments for students with disabilities.
So efficiency gains and better support structures. Sounds good. But like any big change, there must be challenges, right? What are the main hurdles here?
Oh, absolutely. It's not all smooth sailing. Data privacy is probably the biggest concern. Protecting sensitive student data is paramount.
You mentioned that. Critical.
Then there's the cost. Developing these sophisticated AI systems isn't cheap. It needs significant investment in tech and skilled people.
High barrier to entry.
Can be. Another major challenge is avoiding algorithm bias, making sure that AI is fair and doesn't inadvertently disadvantage certain groups.
That's a huge ethical consideration.
It really is. Then there's user adoption. Sometimes educators or even students might resist if they don't understand the tech or see the benefits clearly. Needs good training and support.
Change management is always tricky.
And finally, the infrastructure needed serious computing power, lots of data storage. Not every institution has that readily available.
Definitely important factors. Now, hearing about these challenges and the need for expertise, it makes me think, for those of you listening who might be involved in education or tech development, this is where specialized help becomes crucial. I'm going to mention this is exactly the space where we at WeblineIndia operate. We actually specialize in custom software development, and a big focus for us is building mobile and web apps incorporating AI and machine learning.
Right. Having that focus is key.
Yeah, we help businesses and institutions integrate these advanced technologies effectively. We also offer offshore development services, if that's a fit. You know, navigating those complexities. You mentioned the tech, the integration. That's what we do.
Makes sense. Getting it right requires that kind of specialized knowledge.
Exactly. So that sounds interesting. You can find us at WeblineIndia.com or just email info@WeblineIndia.com. And of course, follow us online for updates on this kind of tech.
Good to know there are partners out there to help navigate this.
Definitely. Okay, shifting gears slightly. Looking ahead now, what does the future hold? What's next for AI in education apps? What's on the horizon?
Oh, The future looks incredibly exciting, I think. We're starting to see early work on things like emotion AI.
Emotion AI. You mean detecting student feelings?
Potentially, yes. Detecting frustration or boredom, perhaps, and adapting the support accordingly. It's early days, but fascinating.
Wow. Okay. What else?
Blockchain integration is another area, using it for secure, verifiable academic records and certifications.
Tamper-proof transcripts, essentially.
Kind of, yeah. Also, AI-driven career guidance looks promising, helping students explore paths based on their skills and interests.
Personalized career counseling.
And more sophisticated platforms for collaborative learning, maybe AI facilitating group projects or discussions, and I really believe we'll see a bigger role for AI in supporting lifelong learning.
So beyond school and university.
Absolutely, helping professionals continuously upskill and adapt throughout their careers.
It really is expanding beyond the traditional classroom.
Okay, so for someone listening, trying to wrap their head around all this, what are the main takeaways, the key things to remember?
I think the absolute key takeaway is that AI in education isn't some far-off sci-fi concept anymore. It's here, and it's actively transforming things now.
It's happening.
Yeah, and the core drivers are personalization and efficiency, making learning better tailored and freeing up human educators.
And the potential benefits are big.
Huge potential, yes, for both learners and educators. But we also have to be mindful of the challenges: data privacy, bias, cost. It's not automatic magic.
A balanced view is needed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The potential is massive, but implementation requires care and thought. Right. We've really only scratched the surface today of how AI is reshaping education via these apps. It's such a dynamic field, constantly evolving.
It really is moving fast.
So keep an eye on it. Think about how these changes might impact your own learning or the educational world you're connected to. What stood out to you from our chat? What new questions does it spark?
Always good to keep questioning.
Indeed. Well, thank you for taking this deep dive with us today. If you found this insightful, please do share it with others who are curious about where learning is headed.